Marc Maron has been in the news because, he was talking shit about Matt Rife. Then I wanted to send you the clip where he was talking shit about Bill Maher. And now his latest I'm going to talk to is about Dave Chappelle and how he's upset with the fact that Dave has done all these transgender jokes. And listen, my conversation, and I don't want to get too deep into that part of it. I just said at the table, it pisses me off when comics break the oath. Don't ever forget you're a comic, man. And comic slamming comics over creativity is to me is just.
On last week's Spears and Steinberg podcast, Aries Spears absolutely unloaded on Marc Maron after Maron claimed Netflix was siding with fascism by not cancelling Dave Chappelle's The Closer. Spears tore into that idea, pointing out that fascism is about silencing voices, not letting a comedian speak his mind on a streaming platform that also hosts plenty of opposing perspectives. To Spears, Netflix didn't suppress anyone. They just recognized that Chappelle is both a cultural heavyweight and a financial juggernaut. Spears went even further, praising The Closer as one of Chappelle's most intellectually daring specials. He highlighted the story of Chappelle's transgender friend Daphne and a sharp observation comparing Caitlyn Jenner's smooth transition into womanhood with Muhammad Ali's decades-long struggle to get America to respect his name. Spears argued these moments showed Chappelle wasn't punching down, but instead exposing contradictions and hypocrisies in society. He also made clear that sustaining an hour on such a charged subject without crumbling takes rare skill. Contrasting Chappelle's feat with Marlon Wayans' shaky special about the Will Smith slap, which Spears dismissed as horrible. But this wasn't just about defending Chappelle, it was about calling out Maron. Spears accused him of breaking the sacred comic oath by attacking another comedian's creativity, something Spears finds unforgivable in the craft. He also painted Maron as a man who's become perpetually angry, constantly criticizing other comics and now retreating into a house filled with feral cats, a punchline Spears used to suggest Maron is emotionally disconnected from people. In the end, Spears rated The Closer a 9.5 out of 10, calling it Chappelle's most intellectual work, even if not his funniest, and slammed Maron's take as both inaccurate and unfair. To Spears, Chappelle proved once again why he belongs in the pantheon of comedy, while Maron came off sounding like the bitter neighbor yelling at kids from the porch. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to leave a comment with your perspective, share this with friends who love comedy debates, and subscribe to Fry Plantain.
So now on to something else before we get to the meat and potatoes. We're just talking about this Tyson documentary. Now, the same way I complimented Mark, I'm about to caca all over this because he said something in the restaurant that damn near offended me. Marc Maron has been in the news because, he was talking shit about Matt Rife. Then I wanted to send you the clip where he was talking shit about Bill Maher. And now his latest I'm going to talk to is about Dave Chappelle and how he's upset with the fact that Dave has done all these transgender jokes. And listen, my conversation, and I don't want to get too deep into that part of it. I just said at the table, it pisses me off when comics break the oath. Don't ever forget you're a comic, man. And comic slamming comics over creativity is to me is just. And then Mark goes, well, that special, The Closer, where Dave did the transgender jokes. It was all right. What? and while we all know that comedy is subjective, okay, and technically, he has the right to that opinion. But as somebody who's an aspiring comic, and this is why I said to Mark, and I'm going to say it again, I'm going to have to get brutal with Otto. Because comments like that is what would keep you from being a great comic. How dare you? And in your youth, because you're in your 30s, which is why I don't think you appreciate the fine wine that is Dave Chappelle. You're supposed to put that in your mouth and swish it around and guess the year. That had, first of all, to be able to tackle one subject for an entire hour and a subject as heavily explosive as transgenders. And he did it brilliantly. From the story about Daphne, his transgender friend that committed suicide, to talking about J.K. Rowling's about gender is a fact.
Aries' main case? That Chappelle special wasn't just good. It was a masterclass in handling a topic comedians usually treat like a live grenade. He argued that it takes comedic guts the size of watermelons to spend an hour on transgender issues and not completely tank. To Spears, Chappelle didn't punch down, he punched lines. The man basically set up camp on the edge of a cultural volcano and roasted marshmallows while weaving in the story of Daphne, his transgender friend who tragically died. Spears treated that moment like Exhibit A, proof that Chappelle wasn't mocking so much as dissecting society's contradictions. And then there was the Caitlyn Jenner versus Muhammad Ali comparison.
I never attacked Dave Chappelle, the man.
That's funny.
I'm just saying.
That's funny, but don't do that.
I can't disagree with it. His artistic choices.
Tell me specifically what made it just all right.
Because he already did the special before.
He addressed it in the special before.
No, he made.
He talked a lot about it in the special before.
He didn't talk a lot about it.
To me, when it comes down to the punching down thing, it is like that is the, if you're gonna do it, make it good.
Okay, stop right there. If you're gonna do it, make it good. He quoted what his transgender friend Daphne said. He doesn't punch down. He punches lines.
Yeah, that's a good line. But I don't think that's true. I'm not.
But
I enjoyed it.
Did you think that special was punching down though?
Yeah,
Yes,
I think it is punching down.
How? Just I need to
Well, I
understand.
got to rewatch it. But when you're just on trans people,
He wasn't shitting on any. There was no on trans people in that special.
when they're the butt of the joke.
There wasn't a butt.
And I'm not even going as far as saying that it was. I wasn't offended. I didn't find it offensive.
This is what Andy means.
I'm just saying it's easy.
This is what Andy means when he says sometimes when you speak, your youth shows. Because you just skipped the whole part about why he was saying in the special, what bothers him is how quickly the transgender movement has ascended the movement within the black community and our struggle. That was part of the point. When he mentions the thing about how come it was easier for Caitlyn Jenner to change his sex than it was for Muhammad Ali to change his name. You don't see the intellectual brilliance in that?
In contrast, Spears tossed poor Marlon Wayans under the bus by comparing Chappelle's feat to Marlon's attempt at making a full special about the Will Smith slap, which Spears politely described as horrible. Translation: that special should be buried next to Blockbuster.
Oh, we're just going to talk about the same thing.
Let me show you how hard it is. And I know Andy always gets on me about, hey man, don't on other people, but I have to make a point here. So I'm not really on him, but I got to make the point. Marlon Wayans' last special, his whole hour was about the transgender thing. Oh no, I'm sorry. Let me stop. Let me back up. His whole hour was about the Will Smith Chris Rock slap. He did a whole hour on one subject. Horrible. Now this is my artistic opinion.
Yeah.
Horrible. I don't even think you have to have the skill to be able to do one topic for an hour. One topic? Do you know how incredibly hard that is?
I recognize all that. I'm just saying.
I honestly think that you need to rewatch it because, and this is the reason why we're talking about something it does have a date.
Let me ask you a question.
Hold up. Make that point.
It does have a date on it, and I think that you were further removed from the hysterical hype of the transgender movement that it couldn't be questioned at the time. And
especially how it affected him because he went through the on the special before that.
Yeah, so I think if you look at it now, I think that the conversation has broadened a little bit. I think we're a little bit more open to having some conversation at least. And I think you would look at it differently. You wouldn't look at it so much as punching down. You would see that some of it was about how hypocritical we are towards other things, and we turn a blind eye towards other things. And I think Dave brought up a lot of valid points as he had it.
Absolutely.
But he used that through line of transgenderism to make some of these points. And I think that that's missed because I think people only heard the word transgender.
But Spears wasn't just defending Chappelle. He was swinging on Maron personally. According to Spears, Maron broke the sacred comic code by critiquing another comic's art in a way that wasn't funny, but self-righteous. Spears basically said, I liked old Maron, the one who wasn't living in a feral cat commune, the one who wasn't mad at every comic with a Netflix deal.
But let's get back to why we're talking about this. Because Maron, he didn't just say, this wasn't, I think, just a total critique on Dave Chappelle. It was a critique on Netflix. And then he used the word fascism. They chose fascism. And this is what bothers me. Would you look up the definition of fascism?
Yeah, and that wasn't even so he wasn't even talking about the special, really.
He was talking about Netflix choosing Dave Chappelle
Over
over and choosing fascism over
not to cancel him type thing.
Yeah, because
far right, ultra nationalistic political ideology characterized by dictator, whatever power.
It's the word dick. That should roll off your tongue.
Extreme. Well, it does roll off my tongue. Extreme nationalism, forcible suppression of opposition, militarism, and strong centralized government.
Okay, this is there's a thing in there where you said forcible opposition. Say that again.
Forcible or suppression of opposition.
Okay, so that's the one that into fascism to me that stands out, and I'm going to say the reason why. It's because to me everything in life is that our ability, what makes us human besides our thumbs, is our ability to have a conversation and use reason to work out an alternative other than a war, a battle, a killing, to come to some kind of decision about something. And the way Mark said that has fascist tones to it in the idea that there's suppression of conversation because there is no conversation because Netflix couldn't see another way. He couldn't see another way around it. And so you must, because Netflix did that, they are the fascist. And that is not correct.
In conclusion, the clash between Aries, Spears, and Marc Maron wasn't just about Dave Chappelle. It was about what comedy is supposed to be. Spears framed the closer as proof that stand-up at its highest level is fearless, layered, and willing to dance on cultural landmines without flinching. Maron's critique, meanwhile, came off to Spears as misplaced outrage and a misuse of heavy terms like fascism. The result was less a debate than a reminder. Comedy thrives on risk, conversation, and perspective, not censorship and bitterness. And if you're here for more unapologetic analysis served with humor, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Fried Plantain, because the conversation doesn't end here.